Hi and welcome to part 2 of setting up HubSpot free without going crazy. The other day we were looking at how to set up HubSpot as this amazing CRM that can be in the center of your business or your cause or even your movement. How powerful CRM's customer relationship manager or management can be in really helping you serve your community, serve your clients, serve your customers, serve your subscribers, because it helps us manage relationships. It means that people don't get dropped, people don't get left behind, people can be communicated to, and we can automate a lot of that communication as well. And that's all just part of the power of something like HubSpot. It really is an amazing tool, but it can be quite expensive, particularly for small businesses. And we're going to be looking at today really how to use the free HubSpot, which is, as I was saying in part 1, probably the best deal out there at the moment. You can have up to 1 million contacts. Many of us don't have 1 million contacts, but also it will look at do so much for you for free. So without further ado, let's perhaps click through here and just see where we're going to be going today. I'm called Steve Jones, and Habits and Movements is all about giving you the mindset to create your movement, your business, your cause, but also the tools that you need and the skills that you need. And we're focused on that in this channel. So do subscribe to our channel. There's always good stuff in there around 3 very diverse but integrated ideas. So this is what we were looking at in part 1. And we got onto email accounts. And today we're going to be looking at how to set up our email accounts, how to create forms on your websites that's going to pull in people's data and then automate responses when people fill in forms or respond on your website. How to create deal stages, that's where, and I'll show you later on, but how you can pull people along in Kanban style, it's called, where you take hold of a deal, a person on the screen, and you pull them along to the next stage and the next stage, and you define each stage, bringing them towards in sales talk where they become a customer. But I know many of you out there are also developing non-profits or charities, so it wouldn't be them becoming a customer, maybe they're becoming a member, or maybe they're becoming a donator, or maybe they're becoming a leader within your organization or a volunteer. So we can use deal stages not just for sales, but for all kinds of processes that we'd love our community to go through. We're looking at sales tools, some of the powerful free sales tools within HubSpot, including meetings, how to automate your meetings, which again is great, how to integrate your ads, and you can more or less manage ads and remarketing ads within free HubSpot. Also, HubSpot bought some chatbots the other day, a chatbot company, and now you can embed chatbots in your website as well. So that's where we're going. At the very, very end, I'm going to also talk to you about some of the limitations, and that will save you a lot of pain, a lot of hassle, a lot of pain and sweat. When I share with you some of the limitations of free HubSpot, because obviously they want you to be buying their paid packages, but there are, so they create some limitations. So you need to just be aware of those before you invest all your time and all your energy within HubSpot. But what I'd quite like to do first of all is go to a simple HubSpot account that I sometimes use and show you therefore how to set up your emails. Now, there's 2 different places you do your emails. They're always found within this cog here, which is the settings, and that generates all these settings down the left here. Okay, this setting can be found under your integrations and your email integrations. That's what we're looking at today. And as you can see here, you can bring in, particularly if you're using Outlook, Outlook 365 is excellently integrated with HubSpot, as is G Suite. What I would say, just a caution, and I have found this, those of you that use PC-based Outlook, so Outlook that's living on your website, living on your PC, just be a little bit careful. Make sure you back up your data before you start the integration with the PC or Windows-based Outlook software, that has been known to crash a bit, as Outlook does tend to crash with any plugin from any organization. But just need to think about that, be aware of that. So I've created here, I've put in my one of my business website email addresses, which is a G Suite, and that integrates nicely. It means that I can put in a HubSpot extension on the tab there. These are gorgeous little bits of extension. I won't show you them now, but I open up my Gmail online and I can actually see some of I create a new email within Gmail, and there are some of the HubSpot functionality right there. So I can drag and drop all kinds of different connections, including tracking the email to see if somebody's opened it up, but also logging the email and logging the contact. So the person I'm sending the email to is automatically logged into my database within HubSpot up here in the contacts. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. That's called login and tracking, which we've talked about there. So you can either turn that on or turn that off. So you can connect your emails in here and then download all these extensions. They're mostly done in Chrome. The extensions for G Suite, which is your Gmail or your Outlook 365. So that's all in this tab here. There's a few more email kind of setup requirements. There's another email kind of issue within marketing, and that is more really the marketing emails you're going to send out, the mass, what marketers call blasts. And HubSpot will create a blast for you, as we talked about yesterday, to your lists. Okay, and this is where you can configure those emails that are sent out to those blasts, to those lists, including a very powerful double opt-in. Now you might want to tick this. It does create some issues, but within some countries in the EU, I think it's a legal requirement. It's in this country, in the UK, it's not a legal requirement to have a double opt-in, but it is best practice. So you might want to click on that. You probably know what double opt-in is. That's when you get sent an email after you subscribe that says, do you really, really want to subscribe to this? So that's where your double opt-in is found. And then this really important section here is your subscription types. So subscription types tab will open up basically a page that will give you a list of the different legal ways in which people can contact you. So people are going to give you legal consent as to whether it's a marketing email, whether it's a sales email, whether it's those are the sort of, or whether it's a subscription to an e-news or receiving any blog posts. So people can go to their own page, your subscribers can go to their own page and unsubscribe or tick the boxes that they want to get communicated to by. Okay, so have a look at that as well. That's really important to set that up well, particularly if you're in the European Union where GDPR law is strong. That's email, that's setting up your email and your email integrations. Next, we were looking at forms. Now, under the marketing tab up here, you can see that a lot of these things are locked by HubSpot. You can obviously do emails, which you talked about, but you can as well create forms. So if we went to our forms down here, this is just setting them up in the first place. Remember, if you've got your WordPress plugin, your HubSpot WordPress plugin, you can embed forms within and track any forms that are on your website. You can actually, and this is really important, pull in data from non-HubSpot based forms. So let's say in WordPress you're using something like Contact 7, which is another kind of form builder within WordPress. Well, the HubSpot plugin will pull in the data from that if you enable it. So you can see here there is a non-HubSpot form tab where you can create that. And here you can do colors and various things for your forms, set what you want your forms to look like, the fonts that you want to use, etc., which is pretty powerful just for a free HubSpot. So these are the forms, and then later on you create your forms using this tab here. We're not particularly looking at these tabs, we're looking at settings today. You have to do this deep work of settings, which is this tab, before you get excited about all this stuff up here, the actual doing. So many people try and do this stuff up here, create forms, create ads, create deals, create contacts, but if they haven't done this setting up work, which is what this session is all about, it will go badly wrong. So please make sure you do all this before you start using HubSpot. So that's forms. Now, another great thing within, and I'm going to show you this, within HubSpot itself, is the ability to have deal stages and what they call a pipeline. They give you one free pipeline, which is a limitation, because some of you would have different kind of journeys that you want your people to go through. But HubSpot free will give you one journey. Okay, they call it the HubSpot pipeline over here, and you can edit these deal stages. So basically you're creating a deal and dragging it and dropping it. Let's take it right back to the start. And each time a deal or a person having a deal moves on a stage, you can drag and drop them along here. Now in future sessions, I'm going to teach you how to create automations for that. The paid HubSpot will let you create automations. So if I went to here, call not yet, perhaps the person hasn't rung me up, has stood me up on a call, pulling them to there would actually generate a whole load of automations, like maybe an email follow-up, you know, why the heck weren't you there, what you're playing at. Well, obviously you'd be nicer than that, but that's the sort of idea. Now free HubSpot will not do that for you. It will not do any automations. Look at the automation tab here, it's locked. Everything is locked. All the automations are locked. Workflows and sequences. Sequences are sequences of emails, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Workflows are more these really powerful automations. Incredible, actually. I mean, if you can afford it, do use these. But there are ways of using other bits of software. I use a thing called Zapier, which will kickstart literally automations. So if I moved this from here to here, I can actually then get it to send something within something like MailChimp. So there are ways, but I will talk to you more about that in the future. Anyway, you can change all these deal stages to how you want the whole thing to go. Really powerful. Now you change the deal stages back to our settings. You change the deal stages obviously down the side again, under sales. And in sales as well, you will see a whole load of other sales tools. So there's your deals. And in here, you can change the deal stages here and add more if you want a longer pipeline and so on. So you can do what you want in there. So that's where you edit your deals. You can edit in here some of the other kind of functionality within HubSpot. Let me just show you some of the sales tools that you have got. I'll show you at the top first of all. So there's a thing called documents, which is basically a very small, it's particularly in free, it will give you 5 documents, a small library of documents that you use a lot within HubSpot. Maybe a sales document, maybe a brochure that you send out to people. It's just a great way of quickly getting hold of a document and pulling it across into something you're sending out. Okay, so it's like its own little cloud. It's like a little HubSpot cloud. Meetings. Now let's just click on that. Many of you have used a thing called Calendly. Now Calendly shows you, automates that kind of organizing ping pong that goes on between when you're setting up a meeting with somebody. I think it's probably about 5 emails, isn't it? You know, when are you free? Oh, I don't know. I can do Wednesday afternoon. No, I can't do Wednesday afternoon, and so on. So Calendly sort of automates that process, makes it a lot easier. lets people see within my diary. I can integrate it with my Google Diary or my Outlook diary, and people can see not what I'm doing, but they can at least see my availability and book in, and it appears automatically in my calendar, and it also sends them reminders as well. Now, some of us do use Calendly, and I use Calendly particularly because HubSpot only gives you one free meeting type, which is really cool actually. For some people that is enough. So you can create literally, and I've set up here, you know, an exploratory call, 10-minute exploratory call where people can click on that. Let me just show you what it would look like. People would get this link, which is really cool. It looks really good. And you can do this for free. So they will see, because this is integrated in my diary, and I told it I'm not going to be booked in today. People are not allowed to book in within an hour or two, etc. They're only allowed to book in sort of 5-6 hours from now. So people can book in here tonight with me, click on there, leave their address. Now the good thing about the HubSpot calendar meeting thing is that obviously all this information that they're putting in here is put into your database, into your HubSpot database, and you can follow up with them. So again, a massively powerful freebie there from HubSpot, and you can set all that within your meetings and edit all that within your meetings as well. So great bit of kit there, really good bit of kit. Meetings, documents, there are some other tools, I guess you could call them marketing or sales tools. I'll quickly mention them. One is the snippets. Again, you can click on that and set up snippets. I'm not sure if I set any up on here, but snippets are bits of text that you use again and again and again. Maybe it's just describing your business. It's like a paragraph describing your business, and you always find yourself just copying it or copying it from somewhere else maybe, or even typing it out fresh again and again and again. A snippet is just a little bit of text, paragraph that you can use again and again, which is actually excellent. Good little bit. Templates, similar. Templates are like email templates that you can set up. If you're always sending out an email with the same text and the same communication, either in sales or marketing, you can create up to 5 templates for free within free HubSpot. So again, you want to look at that as well. You can see there's a lot of work involved in setting up HubSpot, several weeks work really. So do take your time in creating a good foundation. And lastly, there are some chatbots, chat flows you can create. Let's quickly just click on that so you get the idea. I'm not sure if I created one within this account, but again, you can set up a little chatbot, a little bit like appears on the bottom right hand side of any website. There it is, the HubSpot one. So if I click on that, up pops, it's actually a little chatbot. I could talk to a knowledge base here, or there's a little bot. Normally, sometimes a little bot does appear here and says, hi, you know, how can I help you? So you can create those sort of things, real simple things. Qualifying bot, ask people questions, you know, how big is your business? How can I help you? Are you into sales, marketing, whatever? You can actually start to qualify using a bot rather than to gather information rather than just yourself. So that again is unbelievably powerful, and there's a new integration even in the free account with Facebook Messenger, so the whole thing can start talking with Facebook as well. So brilliant stuff here. I'm just getting excited with this because it is really very powerful indeed. That's some sales tools, meetings tools, ads you can integrate. I'm not going to click on those right now, but you could click on I might as well, I got nothing to hide. Well, I have actually some of my data, but this is just some little ads that we've created to play with a bit in the past. You can link it in with Facebook, you can link it in with Facebook ads, Google ads, you can link it in with LinkedIn ads, which is incredibly powerful. Track people, remarketing. You can do remarketing campaigns as well, which is exciting. Develop your audiences if you know what all this is. I will probably do a session on this in the future as well, but how to actually create and use Facebook ads and Google ads within HubSpot. Real powerful bit there, where people that have arrived on your website and have been tracked by the HubSpot plugin, let's say it's on your site's on WordPress, their information is pulled into HubSpot, but then given out to Facebook, and Facebook can then market to them as well. So you're getting this sort of double whammy of marketing around, well, or marketing or remarketing. If they're visited, if they bought something, you can remarket to them, etc. So there's tons in that, tons of possibility under the ads tab up here that you can explore. Now, a lot of this functionality you obviously need to set up. Just spend time going through these settings on the left, making sure you've done all the settings. One setting I haven't showed you, but I'd quite like to. So here's your ad settings, yeah, pixels, Facebook pixels, etc. I just want to show you one, I think it's in tracking code, that's quite important when it comes to your analytics. Because obviously I am visiting my website an awful lot, not because I want to buy some things off myself, but because I'm checking my website, I'm looking at my website, and that can mess up, can't it, your stats. And one of the other things that HubSpot have are these incredible reporting capabilities up here. Dashboards, analytics, graphs, pictures about people that have visited your site and what they're doing. But you'll see this massive spike, won't you, around the time when you go back to your website and you're updating it, 20 times, 30 times you're visiting the page. So that's going to mess up your stats, your own visits, or your staff people visiting your site. So you can actually add your IP address. That's down the bottom here. You can add IP addresses that you want to exclude from the traffic. Okay, so here's some IP addresses that I want to exclude from the traffic. They're IP addresses I've used in the past. They're not valid now, but they have been in the past. So all my stats now won't be added to HubSpot, which is important, or you get skew-whiffed statistics. That's really important. So that's your ads, your tracking, and chatbots. We've looked at that as well. I want to quickly now zoom back to our PowerPoint and look briefly at the limitations. Okay, so there are limitations, and you do need to go to the product pages and check out on the product pages, HubSpot product pages, what those limitations are. Be very aware of that. I have had several clients that just get extremely disappointed when they hit a limitation. They hadn't thought it through. They hadn't thought through these kind of limitations. There are no automations built into HubSpot. In fact, there's one, and that's if a form is filled in, HubSpot will, if you set it up, send an email to that form, one follow-up email to that person that's filled in the form. Okay, that is the only automation that I can think of within HubSpot, free. There are some sending limits as to the amount of emails you can send in any given month. Okay, just be aware of that. Check it out with your normal sending limits and so on. One way around that, obviously, is to integrate with something like MailChimp and let MailChimp do your bigger mailings. That's one of the integrations you can put into it. There's tool limits on nearly everything. So there's no social media. You can't use social media or post social media posts to your Facebook posts. Write it on HubSpot and send it off to Facebook. You can in the paid HubSpot, but not in the free. So there's no social media connection in free HubSpot. There's no buttons. You can't create little buttons, little call to action buttons at all, except for the ones that are embedded within your forms. You can't create landing pages or blog posts, which is all functionality for the marketing professional. Okay, so just be careful of those things. Like I said, there are meeting limits. You're allowed one type of meeting, which can per user, which can be a bit tricky. Reporting limits. When you go to the reporting pages, you do get loads of different types of reports. Reports about how many people are in each deal stage. Reports about how many people have been to each your website, what pages they've been to. So there are some incredible reports, but they are limited if you want high-end reporting, high-end analytics. I mean, the perfect HubSpot, if you like, the paid HubSpot, high-end HubSpot, will literally track everything that's happening throughout your customer process and can be really powerful. But you can do a lot of tracking within HubSpot, and then you integrate it with something like Google Analytics. You can normally do most of that anyway. Okay, so there are ways around a lot of these limitations. But there is still unlimited users, unlimited contacts, and companies up to 1 million, I think. And there must be some limit on users, but I've never met it. So that's great. Just be aware of those limitations as you think through whether HubSpot is for you or not. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for listening. Do come back to this channel, subscribe to this channel. We're going to be looking obviously at really specific tools like this, but also realizing that in order to build some of these tools and get these skills, we also need a different type of mindset. You might say, well, why haven't you just focused on tools, Steve? Why haven't you just focused on skills? Why haven't you just focused on HubSpot? The answer is, in order to take something forward, you need to be integrated. You need to have a mindset. You need to have some passion. You need to have the skills, but you also need the tools to do the business. And that's why Habits and Movements is, if you like, it's an integrated approach to taking things forward.